What is up? And welcome to another Rookie Reset. I am your host, Andrea Fitzgerald, and I'm an author, speaker, educator, and also a person really committed to support new teachers because oftentimes new teachers quit too soon because, hey, they're not getting the support their needs. So that's what we hope to do here on the Rookie Reset is to provide you with practical tools, tips, and strategies to help you stay in the teaching game. So if you know a new teacher, share this video, get it out to them because yes, we're gonna talk here and help you with some tools to help you stay in the game. So today, we're going to talk about the 8 essential C's for the rookie mindset shift. Well, what the heck is a rookie mindset shift? So, as I was thinking about this, I thought about my time as a basketball player. And I had been playing basketball since I was 5 years old. Like I knew how to shoot, I knew how to dribble, all that stuff. And the summer before I went, they gave us this big notebook and we had to do all of these different workouts to prepare us for the very first day once we arrived on campus. And I did that. I did everything in the book. And when I got on campus, I remember I played a pickup basketball game, y'all, and I was playing defense. I was like, "Ooh, I'm defense, defense, knees bent, butt down, back straight, head, shoulders up." And you know what? I was sliding my feet, and one of my teammates, I think she was a junior, she set a screen on me so hard, I fell down. It was like I hit a brick wall. I was so shocked. I could believe it. Like the workouts were harder. Everything was way more intense, even though I had done all the things to prepare for that. So I was in a state of perpetual shock. I cannot believe that it was this hard. And I had a similar experience as a teacher. They gave me all the tools. They said, "Hey, this is what you do. This is how you write a lesson plan and do all this." But I was prepared for what it was actually going to be like on a day-to-day basis. And so what I wish I would have known, there were several things I wish I would have known, and I want to share those with you today. It's what I call the 8 C's of the rookie mindset shift. Because going in, you see the Instagram pictures, the people with the beautiful classroom and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be, I was up at the board just teaching and the kids would just listen. They would just do what I say. It didn't work out like that. So I want to share with you a few of those, the 8 C's. So let's start off with the first one. Number one, the first C is commit to the idea that you're going to do more than just teach. I often used to feel like, don't get me wrong, like you still got to be able to teach. Like we could talk about relationships and culture and all that, but in the end of the day, you still got to be able to teach. But I found myself, I would say, gosh, that's probably about 50% of what I do is teach. Everything else is like the other stuff that goes into teaching that was more of a big deal. But that part, that it was a lot more than that, like sometimes I was a master manager. I had to, manage the paperwork, I had to manage the class, I had to watch the cell phones, it was all kinds of things. Sometimes I had to be a parent, sometimes, it was just all these different roles that I had as a teacher. That was probably like a very small percentage of what I did. It was the other pieces that really contributed to all the things I did as a teacher. So you're going to do more than just teach. Prepare your mind for that. You will not just be up at the board doing your little math problems, reading the complex text. It's going to be a lot more than that. So just get that in your mind. It's going to be more than teaching. The second C is you want to enter the classroom with confidence and credibility. Well, how do I establish that? I think the best way to establish credibility is being prepared. Over prepare. I think that one of the things that I didn't know was that that you had to prepare for everything. You had to over prepare. Like even if it was 60 minutes, you want to prepare for 90 minutes because you could finish early. Well, what do I do if I do that? So I think knowing your content is one of the ways also to establish credibility because they're like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. Because I would often walk in the class. Listen, I did not over prepare. I looked in the textbook. I thought that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look at the textbook. I'm gonna do these little problems, and that's that on that. But it wasn't like that. I was not prepared. Therefore, I did not come off as credible. And I think the other thing is confidence. And confidence, a lot of times, what I notice when I see new teachers, they get caught off guard by like what students say. Sometimes like kids are going to try you. You may have your rules, policies, procedures. They're going to test you. They are going to test you, but it's being confident enough to stand in what you know you have set, the conditions you have set for your classroom. Like I'll give you a prime example. My first year, or my second year. Now I told you, my first year, it was a whole disaster out here. Like I shouldn't have been teaching nobody kids. But my second year, I said, this year I'm about to be extra tight with these cell phones because they were a big deal. And so I told him, I said, listen, I know you got them. I'm not tripping about that, but I do not want to see it in my class. If it goes off, I'm going to take it, hand it over to admin. Well, the very maybe first week of school, this student, his phone accidentally went off. And I really did not want to take the phone, but I'd already said it. So I had to have the confidence to stand in what I said it was going to be, right? So this is not being the Wicked Witch of the West. This is just, following through with the expectations of what you have, right? Of what you have set. So that, that it took a lot of courage to do that, but I did anyway. And so I probably, for the rest of the year, I didn't have many cell phones that sent the message that I said what I meant and I meant what I said. So just having the courage to do that. And I think another way to do that, confidence, almost like your presence, they call it executive presence, how you dress, how you show up, stuff like that. Like, I know I look very young, like I still look young. So I but I often would dress professionally because, I think I was on like 26 maybe when I started teaching. So I had to kind of set that line between, teacher and student. So just your presence and how you show up. So one of the best ways to do that, to exude confidence, be yourself. Don't try to be like anyone else, and they say, another deal there is that if you want students to learn from you, you create safety, be you. They trust that. They know you're genuine. So that's another way for that. Number 3 is collaboration will move you to new levels. Find you a crew. I need to shout out Miss Holmes, Miss Reed, Miss Dickinson. That was my crew. I had some of the coldest mentors that you could ever have. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, guys. I was lost out here in these streets. I didn't know what was going on. But they really took me under their wing. And it was just a lot of things I did not know. They literally taught me how to teach the content. Do not try to do this alone. Please do not try to do this alone. Get you a crew. PLCs are a great way to do that. Find you a mentor. Find you somebody who is already crushing it in your subject area, or someone in the building is really good, but do not try to do this alone. Collaboration will take you to new levels. Please do not try to do this alone. Number 4, celebrate your losses. Hey, newsflash, you are going to mess up. Guys, I called inside of my own classroom. I thought I was talking to a parent, and they had me on speakerphone, y'all. Had me on the speakerphone. I made so many mistakes as a teacher, but celebrate those losses, because I promise you that is what's going to make you a dynamic teacher. That's what's going to make you great. So appreciate the losses. You're going to mess it up. You're going to have days where you wonder, like, what the hell am I doing? I definitely had it. That's okay. It's a part of the game. You're going to mess up, celebrate your losses, because that's what's going to help you evolve and become great. And I think that people don't often tell teachers that. Like, they don't tell new teachers that. Like, you think, I've been successful, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to crush it like I've been doing it. It's often not like that. So you're going to mess up because it's just a lot of things you do not know. Like, I didn't know you look in PowerSchool to get parents' phone numbers. I didn't know that. I just asked the student, I said, hey, can I have your phone number so I can call your mama? And she gave me her best friend's number. So, it's just things like that. But it's also where you learn. Like, that's literally, like, I'm not a very structured person. But because I screamed so much my first year, I said, ooh, I got to have some systems, because yelling is not classroom management. The next one, number 5, is create a plan for everything in your classroom. As I said before, one of the ways to build credibility is to be prepared. You want to have a plan for everything that takes place in your class. Like, I didn't even know that. Like, I thought that I was just going to go in, like I said, and just teach my little math problems. Having a system for how we enter the classroom. How do we pass up papers? How do we get calculators? How do we enter the classroom? how do we leave the classroom? Like really think through systems that are going to help you do the things that you need to do in your class, right? Like all the way down to how they enter and walk inside the door, all the way down to that. So you want to have a plan for absolutely everything that takes place in your class. What's my plan for if they don't have pencils? Like one of my plan is, at first I used to get mad and say, oh, you don't have pencils, you can't work. Well, I can't give y'all zeros. I can't punish you if you do not have resources. So I started using collateral. I had a plan for that. Paper. A lot of times my students, they just walked in there with themselves and they didn't have no paper. I'm not about to holler at you about some paper. I still need you to get these results. I still need you to grow as a math lead. So I'm gonna give you the paper, no harm, no foul. I'm not even asking for collateral for that. So just think about and having a plan for that. Number 6, connections and content. Gotta have both. So I'm not gonna sit up here and say that, oh my gosh, you don't have to be able to teach. Because let's be clear. Like I said before, number 1, you still got to be able to teach and you got to know your content. That is one of the best ways to create credibility, is knowing your stuff. But one of the things that's also very important is connection. Connection. Relationships really matter. They say people don't buy products, they buy people. That know, like, and trust factor. And one of the ways to build connection is taking the time to understand who it is that's serving you. That was one of the biggest mistakes I made as a new teacher, even as a basketball coach. I had my agenda and my agenda only, and I did not consider who it is I was working with. So taking the time to really understand who they are, what are their interests, because as I often say, they didn't care about my little math problems, but they did care about zeros and commas in the bank account. And I would not have understood that if I did not take the time to understand who they were. So just keep that in mind. And so leading to that, number 7, culture and relationships are the heartbeat of your classroom. If you think about it, our heart is the size of a fist. That's it. It's just the size of a fist. But when it's not operating properly, you know what? We're not our healthiest. And when it stops, hey, guess what? That's it. We ain't here, right? And so the same thing is true in our classroom. Culture and relationships are the heart and the oxygen of your class. Without those, it is going to be very challenging to teach. Like I have definitely gone in rooms and I've said, the answer is not on the IPG. This has nothing to do with core action 2A, checks for understanding. Then this is about, is this teacher able to connect with her students? Does she have a relationship with them? What is the structure and conditions in the classroom where things can actually grow? So like think about culture and relationship as the soil in your classroom. And if you plant it well, then things can grow from there. But if the conditions are not good for the plants to grow, they don't have the right light, the right amount of water, then the plant won't grow. And so that's what you want to think about when it comes to culture and relationships in your class. And I'm going to talk about that over the next few weeks, what I call heart, how to establish heart in your classroom. Maybe we'll talk about that next week, guys. But we'll talk about heart. And then the last one I think is really important. Challenge yourself and consistently reflect on your practice and teaching game. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, and the best teachers are the ones that are reflective. If I was on shout out to Dr. Precious. I'm about to go to her class here in a minute. But one of the things she said on her course was, you cannot change what you are unwilling to name. And I said, oh, that's deep. That's real deep. The teachers that I see perform the best are the ones that are reflective and willing to receive feedback. You are not going to have all the answers. Nobody does. If you make mistakes, oh well, so what? It doesn't mean anything about you. It's all about growing. So just continue to challenge yourself and consistently be reflective every single day. I reflected on my lessons every single day. I said, ooh, that didn't go well. Let me figure out how I can make an adjustment. And so it's a constant adjusting and getting better every single day. And even things you did well, ooh, I like the way that went. They seem to get it that way. So just be willing to challenge yourself over and over and over to grow and get better, but consistently reflect on where you are, what you're doing well, and how you can get better. So those are the 8 C's, and let's just run through those right quick. Commit to the idea that I do more than just teach. It's more to teaching than just teaching. It's gonna be more to comes with that. Number 2, confidence and credibility. So being confident, being prepared. That's one of the best ways to do this. Being credible. Excuse my French, I know my shit. That sets credibility. Collaboration will move you to new levels. Don't try to do this on your own. Get some help, find you a crew, mentor, celebrate your losses. Mistakes are going to happen. Own it. And then create a plan for everything in your class. So really have a structure and system for just about everything. Preparation is essential. Connection and content is really important. So yes, you've got to be able to teach, but you also want to take the time to connect your students. Take the time to understand who they are. The next one is culture and relationships are the heartbeat of your classroom. So it is literally the oxygen, and it is creating conditions where learning can take place. So yes, we have a relationship. I see you, but also the conditions I want you. I have such high expectations that I've created a system and structure where you can actually learn. And then lastly, challenge yourself and consistently reflect on your practice. Like none of us are perfect. None of us are figuring it out. I'm still, even as a coach now, I'm still asking myself, how can I get better? Like this season I'm in right now, it's all about me growing and getting better as a coach. So thank you all for tuning in. Get out there this week and do those rookie reset push-ups, y'all. I believe in you. If you think this video added some value, share, subscribe, like, and share this with a new teacher. Listen, new teachers need a lot of support out here. So let's give them that need. Now, you might be saying, this conversation, I didn't want it to end. I want to keep talking. Well, go to bit.ly/reset your class to get 5 tips to help you as a new teacher get your class back on track. You may say, but last year it was a whole disaster out here. Well, come on, come check me out. It's free. Check it out. And then you might be saying, you know what, Fitz, I need some more. I need some more tips like this. Hey, check out the Rookies Playbook, baby. It's only $6.86 on Amazon right now. So check it out for new teachers. I believe in you. Let's do this. I'm out.